Hey guys! I'm so happy to be with you guys today. Do you guys remember what we were talking about this month? We're talking about how God takes care of us. We talked about how he took care of Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego by getting them out of the blazing furnace. Do you remember that? We talked about Queen Esther last week and how he took care of her through a very scary situation of putting herself in danger to save God's people. This week, we are going to talk about how God controls the world around us and how he can take care of us by protecting us from that world. So, let me pray really quick before we get started. Let's close our eyes, put our hands in our lap. Jesus, today I pray that you remind my friends that you are in control and that you want what is best for them. I pray that they see and hear your voice today and leave here remembering how much you love them. Amen. I have another friend that's going to do our memory verse today. Let's say it with them.
God is our refuge and strength, a helper who is always found in times of trouble. Psalm 46:1. Let's say it one more time. God is our refuge and strength, a helper who is always found in times of trouble. Psalm 46:1. Don't forget to practice so you can get a prize from the prize box at the All Together.
Don't forget, if you don't remember the memory verse for the month, ask your parents to look in the Kids Zone section on the app. Okay, today we're going to read a story about Jesus calming a storm out of the Jesus Calling Storybook Bible. All day long, Jesus taught big crowds of people about God. Jesus was very tired, so when evening came, he said to his disciples, "Let's go in our boat to the other side of the lake." While they were sailing, Jesus fell asleep. Some of his disciples were fishermen. They knew everything about sailing and steering a boat. Surely they didn't need Jesus' help, but then a huge thunderstorm came up. Thunder went boom, lightning, flash. A big wind came wilting and howling and racing across the water right at them. By this time, they were in the middle of the lake and there was nothing that they could do. The small boat rocked from side to side, and as it rocked, water poured in. "We're gonna sink," cried one of the men. Even the fishermen who knew all about sailing were terrified. "Wake up, Jesus," they shouted. "Save us." Jesus stood up and he said to the wind, "Stop," and it stopped. "Why were you so afraid?" he asked the disciples. "Don't you have any faith?" "Who is this?" the disciples whispered to each other. Even the wind obeys him. Jesus is God's Son, and he is greater than the wind, waves, and our biggest fears. In this story, these fishermen were so scared, weren't they? But Jesus once again took care of them by stopping the wind and the storm. Even when the fishermen didn't have much faith, Jesus still took care of them. Today, as we talk about how God controls our world, just like these fishermen where their world around them was really scary, Jesus got up and took care of that for them. We can trust that God has control over our world too. As you have noticed from all of our stories this month, when we say that God controls our circumstances or our story or our world, that doesn't mean that it's going to be easy. We've learned that, right? We will have to be brave and strong, and along with all that, we'll probably be scared, nervous, or sad. But don't forget, he will take care of you. Let's play a quick game. Okay, I need a few kids to sit in a straight line and pretend that you are in a boat, just like the disciples were. Everyone else in the room is going to find some soft items like pillows, stuffed animals, crumpled up paper, towels, just soft items. Okay, disciples, you are going to pretend like you're riding in the boat in a terrible storm. So you have to sway back and forth and bounce up and down, all the motions that a boat would make. Everyone else gets to throw all the soft items at the disciples like they are the waves. You can take turns and have different disciples try the boat. I'm going to give you a couple minutes. Go. So, how was that boat ride? Was it crazy? Were there waves flying at you? Were you almost falling out of the boat? I bet it was scary, wasn't it? Well, that is what the disciples felt when they were out there sailing in the boat in the middle of the ocean in a storm. No thank you. But guess who pulled through and took care of them? Jesus! He not only controls our story and our circumstances, but also can control the world around us to take care of us. So let's continue to remember, like our memory verse says, God is our refuge and strength, a helper who is always found in times of trouble. Psalm 46:1. Have a great week.